Have you ever been sure you had everything handled in life only to discover, sometimes too late, you've been heading toward disaster? It's a chilling thought. Waking up one day to realize you made a series of decisions, or no decisions at all, that changed your entire life, and not in the way you hoped. People all around you, friends, family, even strangers, often have no clue these mistakes are creeping into their daily routines, quietly shaping their futures in ways they never intended. Today, we're going to explore 7 crucial mistakes that have the power to reshape not just your tomorrow, but your very identity. These mistakes aren't loud or obvious, they're subtle and insidious. They grow when your guard is down and your soul is tired. By the time you notice the damage, it might feel like it's too late to turn back. My hope is that by the end of this video, you'll recognize the early warning signs of these pitfalls, so you can avoid them or stop them before they take root any further. Stay with me until the final point, because the 7th mistake is the one most people never see coming, and it has the power to define the rest of your days if you're not careful. If you have a pen handy or a notes app on your phone, keep it close. By the time we're finished, I want you to jot down a single step you'll take in your own life to avoid at least one of these 7 mistakes. You don't have to rewrite your entire future overnight, but you do need to take action, even if it's small, because ignoring a slow leak doesn't stop the water, and by the time it bursts, you might be knee-deep in regrets. Let's dive in. 1. Mistake #1. Neglecting your emotional check-ins. When was the last time you asked yourself, how am I really doing? Not the polite small-talk answer you give friends or neighbors, but a genuine pause-and-breathe check-in with your own heart and mind. We live in a world that prizes constant productivity. We learn to keep pushing. Wake up, get dressed, do the tasks, meet the deadlines, come home, go to bed, repeat. The trouble is, if you never stop to inventory your emotional well-being, you can easily miss signals of stress, unresolved grief, anxiety, or even depression. Let me introduce you to Veronica, age 73. She always described herself as busy. She cooked for the church, volunteered at a local senior center, took care of her grandchildren on weekends. Her days were jam-packed. But beneath the hustle was a weary heart quietly screaming for rest. She never took a moment to process her own losses, the passing of dear friends, the slow changing of her neighborhood, even the frustration of aging. And then it caught up with her. One afternoon, she burst into tears while folding laundry. She didn't know why. It felt like a sudden storm, but it was actually the release of years of silent tension. Sometimes, the scariest thing is that you don't even realize how much you're carrying until you crumble under its weight. What can you do? Schedule mini check-ins with yourself. Perhaps it's every morning with your cup of coffee. Maybe it's in the evening while brushing your teeth. Close your eyes, take a deep breath and ask, where am I hurting? If you find anger, sadness, confusion, let it speak. You don't have to fix it in that moment, just acknowledge it exists. Because unacknowledged feelings don't magically fade. They ferment, building pressure until they erupt in ways that can harm your relationships, your health, and your sense of peace. If you're still watching and you find this segment helpful, please comment #1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a crucial insight. Your engagement helps us continue creating content that informs and inspires. 2. Mistake #2. Believing I can handle it alone. We're often taught that independence is a virtue. You might have heard phrases like, don't burden others with your problems, or stand on your own 2 feet. While self-reliance has its place, it can become a trap if taken to an extreme, especially in life's darkest moments. Imagine you've recently faced a life-altering event. Maybe the loss of a loved one, a health scare, or the unraveling of a long-held dream. You figure you can muscle through. You tell yourself you're strong enough, that it's just a rough patch. But what if the tide of pain and uncertainty is more significant than you realize? This is what happened to Marcus, 68, a retired engineer who believed all problems have logical solutions. When his wife passed, he decided the best approach was to stay rational, to problem-solve his grief by reading up on psychology, finances, and estate handling. He shared almost nothing with his children or friends because he believed he had to be the rock. He never let them see him cry. He never admitted how terrified he was of sleeping in an empty bed. He avoided support groups because he thought they were for people who can't keep it together. Weeks became months. Slowly, the quiet house started to feel like a prison. One day, a neighbor's simple question, "How are you holding up?" broke him open. Through tears, he realized how lonely and scared he was, and that his determination to handle everything alone had made him more vulnerable, not less. The remedy? Reach out. Yes, it's uncomfortable at first. Yes, you might worry about imposing. But connection is one of the most powerful tools we have for healing. Even a single heart-to-heart phone call or a weekly meetup with a friend can remind you you're not alone on this earth. We are social creatures built to share burdens. Going at it alone is not a sign of courage. It's often a pathway to deeper isolation. If this resonates, please comment #2 below. And if you haven't already, take a second to like this video. Every like helps us reach more people who might be on the verge of these very mistakes. 3. Mistake #3. Avoiding an organized system for key documents. Think back over the last year. Did you find yourself even just once tearing through drawers or boxes in a frantic search for that one piece of paper, a birth certificate, a will, an insurance policy, a medical record you couldn't locate? If so, you're not alone. Many people live with piles of unsorted files because it feels too daunting, too complicated, or too time-consuming to organize. But avoiding this task can turn a stressful event, like a health crisis or an unexpected loss, into a logistical nightmare. Picture Susan, a 75-year-old grandmother who found herself in the emergency room after her husband, Barry, fell ill. The doctors needed immediate details: insurance information, medical history, medication lists. She had no idea where Barry kept his documents. She'd seen him shuffle manila folders in the den for years, but never asked him what they were. Now, Barry was unconscious, and she was left frantically calling her son, rummaging through drawers, trying to piece together important details that might have saved crucial time. Even once Barry stabilized, she had to spend her emotional energy sorting out finances, contacting insurance companies, and unraveling multiple accounts, all while worrying about her husband's condition. The solution is simpler than you think. A single binder, a folder, or even a digital document saved in a secure place can hold all the necessary information. It's not about paranoia or expecting the worst. It's about preparedness, about respecting your future self enough to give them as few headaches as possible when life inevitably throws a curveball. For those with spouses, talk openly about where documents are stored. For those on their own, share the location with a trusted friend or relative. Even a handwritten list of account numbers, policy details, and passwords can be a lifeline. If you're still with me, please comment #3 below so I know you're paying attention. If you haven't done it yet, do subscribe and turn on notifications. Your attention means the world, and we want to keep providing you with valuable content like this. 4. Mistake #4. Underestimating the power of routine physical self-care. When was the last time you took a brisk walk, drank enough water, or ate a balanced meal? It sounds basic, almost too simple, but you'd be surprised how quickly a body can decline when it's starved for proper rest, nutrition, and movement. Stress, grief, and loneliness often suppress your appetite or steal your motivation. Over time, your health quietly deteriorates until a sudden crisis appears. Let's consider Wesley, 72, who was always active until he lost his wife. In his grief, he found himself spending days in bed, skipping breakfast, sometimes lunch. He was consumed by memories, regrets, and the weight of tasks he no longer had the energy to handle. A year after his wife's death, Wesley found he could barely climb the stairs without getting winded. He'd lost not just weight, but muscle. His doctor warned him that his immune system was weakened. Why does this happen? Because sadness and exhaustion create a cycle that feeds on itself. You feel too low to cook, so you skip meals. Then you're even more fatigued, because your body isn't getting the nutrients it needs. The fatigue makes you want to skip physical activity, which further weakens your body, making you more prone to injuries or illness. It's a downward spiral. What's the fix? Start small. If an hour-long walk feels impossible, try 5 minutes around the block. No appetite? Have a smoothie or a simple bowl of soup. Track your water intake with a checklist or an app. You're not training for an athletic competition. You're just giving your body the basics so it can support you through challenging times. And if you're really struggling, talk to your doctor, or consider having a friend come by once a week to share a meal with you. Little steps matter more than you realize. Please comment #4 below to let me know you're still watching. And if you want more content like this, remember to like and share this video with someone you think might benefit. 5. Mistake #5. Making snap decisions in the wake of pain. You know the feeling. Something tragic or unexpected happens, and suddenly your whole body screams, "I need to get out. I need to change everything." Whether it's selling your home, moving cross-country, or giving away cherished belongings, making major decisions under emotional distress is like driving a car blindfolded. It might move, but you're very likely to crash. Consider Roger, 76, who lost his longtime partner, Alan. Consumed by heartbreak, Roger felt their home was suffocating him with memories. So just a month after the funeral, he put the house on the market, eager to close this chapter and start somewhere fresh. But the move was hasty. He sold far below market value, spent his savings on rent in a more expensive city, and ended up isolated and depressed far from his original community. Within a year, he regretted the move, but the damage was done. Getting back on his feet financially was harder than he ever expected. The lesson is clear. In times of crisis, your judgments are clouded by raw emotion. You're not seeing the full picture. Sometimes the best move is to pause, breathe, and give yourself a grace period before deciding on anything monumental. This doesn't mean you bury your head in the sand. It means you postpone the irreversible. Let your grief settle a bit. Seek counsel from trusted friends or advisors. The cost of waiting can be high. Yes, it's uncomfortable to endure painful memories or messy situations, but the cost of rushing is almost always higher. If this strikes a chord, comment #5. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and click the bell icon. That way, you won't miss future content that can safeguard your well-being and keep you informed. 6. Mistake hash. 6. Trying to live in a frozen version of the past, losing a spouse, a friend, or even a specific chapter of life can feel like you've been ripped in two. In that pain, it's normal to cling to what was. You might find yourself turning your home into a shrine of unchanging memories or shutting out any suggestion of new experiences. While honoring the past is a beautiful and necessary part of healing, being trapped in it can hinder your ability to move forward. Let me share Marianne's story. At 80, she lost her husband of 54 years. Overwhelmed, she decided to preserve their home exactly as he left it. His toothbrush in the bathroom, his coat on the hallway hook, his chair at the table. She stopped inviting friends over because she was embarrassed if they moved anything. She told her daughter she wanted the world to stay exactly as her husband knew it. In her mind, changing any detail felt like a betrayal, but in reality, it meant Marianne was living in a mausoleum of her own making. The problem is that life keeps moving. Seasons change, people grow, new memories form. Locking yourself in a single moment not only keeps you from living fully, it can also amplify loneliness and stunt your emotional recovery. It doesn't mean you have to throw everything away, but you do need to allow room for the present, for new routines, new hobbies, and even new people. This is where professional grief counseling, support groups, or gentle nudges from loved ones can become lifesavers. They remind you that cherishing the past doesn't mean refusing to engage with the future. It's a balancing act between keeping memories alive and creating new ones in the here and now. It may be small steps at first, rearranging a room, replacing a worn-out item with something new, or meeting a friend for coffee in a place you've never been. Over time, these tiny gestures can help you accept that your life, though forever changed, still has chapters left to be written. If you're with me on this, please comment #6 below. And of course, like this video if you haven't already. Each like helps us reach someone who might be drowning in the past. 7. Mistake #7. Abandoning your right to future joy. This final mistake is the one that catches most people by surprise. It's the belief, often unconscious, that after a significant loss, trauma, or period of regret, you no longer deserve to be happy. You might even feel guilty about moments of laughter or glimpses of hope, as if you're somehow betraying what you lost by daring to feel good again. Have you ever thought, "I'm too old to start over," or "My best days are behind me, so why bother?" That mindset can quietly erode every chance at meaningful renewal. It's like building an invisible wall between you and whatever could be waiting around the corner. The tragedy here is that it often feels justified. After all, sorrow and regret can be heavy. Sometimes they whisper that embracing the future is a betrayal of the past. But remember Irene, who discovered painting again in her later years. Or think about Robert, 79, who decided to enroll in a local poetry class after his partner died, even though he had never considered himself creative. Or Barbara, 81, who learned how to video chat with her grandchildren across the country, delighting in their stories like never before. Each one of these individuals recognized a crucial truth. Future joy does not cancel the love you had or the experiences you went through. Instead, it honors life itself. It tells the universe that while you carry scars, you still choose growth. You still choose love. You still choose to wake up each day and look for the spark in the mundane. The moment you abandon your right to future happiness is the moment you surrender your own story. Yes, the pages behind you are filled with chapters, some beautiful, some painful. But if you're still here, there are chapters yet to come. Whether they're filled with new friends, unexplored passions, or a peaceful acceptance of solitude, they are your chapters to write. No one else can do it for you. If this resonates deep in your soul, please comment #7. Let the world and yourself know that you're not giving up on future joy. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. When you subscribe, you tell us that these messages matter, and you ensure you won't miss the future episodes we're planning. Episodes that might just help you unlock new dimensions of your life. Final thoughts. We've covered 7 life-changing mistakes. Mistakes that often lie hidden until it's almost too late. Let's recap them briefly. Neglecting emotional check-ins. If you never take your own emotional temperature, you risk a meltdown you never saw coming. Believing I can handle it alone. Isolation can be as dangerous as any disease. Let people in. Avoiding an organized system for key documents. A simple binder can be the difference between smooth sailing in a crisis and chaos. Underestimating routine physical self-care. The body we inhabit needs consistent care, especially under stress or grief. Making snap decisions in the wake of pain. Don't rush to change everything. Wait until you've found some calm and clarity. Trying to live in a frozen version of the past. Honor what you lost, but don't let that prevent you from living in the now. Abandoning your right to future joy. Holding on to sorrow out of guilt or fear denies you the blessing of new possibilities. If you noticed a little thread weaving through all these mistakes, it's the importance of balance. Whether it's balancing self-reliance with community, honoring your past with welcoming the future, or handling urgent tasks with allowing yourself to grieve, life's tragedies don't remove your ability to choose. They highlight the importance of choosing carefully. Your next step, don't try to fix everything in a day. Pick just one of these mistakes that you might be closest to making, or maybe you're already seeing the consequences of it, and address it head-on. If you're not sure how, begin with a conversation. Call a trusted friend, see a counselor, or take a walk and speak your fears out loud to yourself. Awareness is your first weapon against these pitfalls. Engage with us. If you learned something or felt inspired, please leave a comment below. Which mistake resonated with you the most and why? How do you plan to avoid or rectify it in your life? Your experiences might encourage someone else to take that critical first step. And if you haven't liked or subscribed yet, this is your gentle reminder. By doing so, you help us continue sharing insights that can make a genuine difference in people's lives. Life will always hold a certain amount of unpredictability and pain. But sometimes, knowledge and preparation can soften the hardest blows. Here's to hoping you never have to face these mistakes unprepared. And if you do, that you'll know exactly what to do next. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Take care, stay aware, and remember, the story isn't over as long as you're still writing it. We'll see you soon in our next video. Disclaimer: the insights shared here are for informational purposes only. They're not a substitute for professional medical, legal, or financial advice. If you have concerns, always consult a licensed professional. Thank you. Note: we appreciate each and every person who takes the time to watch these videos and engage in the comments. Your support and feedback keep us motivated to provide content that truly matters. Until next time, stay open to life, stay willing to learn, and never forget the power of hope and resilience.